I know you're not supposed to record to the cloud anymore because it is, I don't know, get hacked or something. But I don't think anything we're gonna say is gonna be terrible.
No.
All right, you ready?
I am ready.
Distantly social. Here we go. All right. Hello, everyone. My guest today is one of the most authentic, funny, and genuine people I know. She's the founder of the newly created action-based productivity group, Project U, and the rapidly growing page called Stuff We Never Say, which is hilarious, and you should check it out. She shares there some unique takes on midlife, parenting, and living without boundaries, and in complete honesty. So I'm really glad to welcome one of my very best friends, all the way from the great state of New Jersey, Lisa Scarpa.
I'm going to apologize right now for the accent. It's not nearly as cool as the Boston
You can apologize
one.
for the accent. The accent's like the best.
It's, it's grating. I can't even stand the sound of my own voice, but I do appreciate it. It's all right. It's good.
How's quarantine going? And I got wine for this one.
Oh, see, I'm still doing the whole water thing. Quarantine.
Oh, transition.
This is how I feel about quarantine. Somebody was saying how, we're trying to be socially distant and everything. And I'm of the thing where I have absolutely no problem admitting I really would like to live without my family right now. I don't think too many people are saying that, but yeah, it's brutal. It's been a long time in very close quarters, and we are all incredibly bored. Like, we're bored and on levels we don't even know what to do with. What did we do all these years when we didn't have computers? Like, I gotta be honest, I was a stay-at-home mom for a lot of years. What did I do without social media? I mean, I guess I talked to my friends on the phone, and I took my kids out and I played with them. We've really gotten into some really crappy habits. By the way, I curse. You might want to let your people know.
That's fine.
We've gotten into some
really called the shit we never say.
Yeah, it actually is the shit we never say, but Facebook was flagging it so much I had to make it the stuff we never say to be politically correct for now. We've gotten into some really bad habits, and social media is an amazing way to connect to people. But the problem is we almost don't know how to connect with people anymore now. We're just so used to that instant 2 minutes. Hi, how are you? Like something, move on to the next page. You put, that's boring, move on to the next page. So being cooped up with family and actually having to talk to them all the time, it's almost like you don't have much to say.
So who do you have in your house right now?
I have my 2 kids who are 21 and my almost 16-year-old, and my husband's in the house. My oldest son is in Arizona with his boyfriend, but we talk pretty much every day. And I'm sorry if I'm not looking at that. I think you're supposed to look up here. I look all over the place. Sorry, I probably look crazy. So all they do is eat. Oh, and I had my brother here. My brother was living with me for a couple of months. So when everybody went food shopping and they saw my cart of $500 worth of groceries and thought I was clearing the shelves, I'm really sorry, people. I was buying for a week. But it's tough. It's tough because this is how tough it is. My 16-year-old said to me, "Ma, I'd rather be in school." No high school has ever never said to you, "Ooh, I can't wait for school to start back." Like maybe one, but he's like, "I'd rather be in school." He's like, "I'm so bored." He doesn't want to play video games anymore. He's done. He doesn't want to watch movies with me. We tried the board game thing outside, going for walks.
So we're in day. What? 20. We're in the mid-30s at this point,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well, I know we are. We just talked about that tonight because we had 2 extra weeks tacked on because we went to Italy.
You went to Italy and got the extra 2
weeks. Yeah, we came back 28. So we had the extra 2 weeks. But we were just talking about the same thing today. It's like what it's like just to be sitting in here and doing this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like we're all living in a sitcom.
You know what it is? It's the hump day that never ends. That's what it feels like. I
saw that on your page.
Yeah, it's the hump day that never ends. It's like, oh God, it's still Wednesday. It's not the weekend yet. and you can't even appreciate, you don't know what day it is, what time it is. You're like, I actually put a shirt on and some makeup and everyone's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to get online and do something with Ed. Like, I got something to do. Yes. Like, and don't come in because I'm booked. They're like, okay, but you put makeup on. I'm like, I know.
That thing's on a schedule.
I did.
Oh,
I
that's so
washed my hair this week because, that was like, I guess I should.
So tell me about the page. Tell me about
The page.
the shit we never say.
The shit we never say. I think it came about because I wanted a place where people could talk about life in 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I guess we're all kind of near that age where I was so tired of seeing social media talk about how perfect everything was in life. And I literally was like, what the hell am I doing wrong that I am not living my best life and I'm not doing all these fantastic things and people seem so happy, and I'm like, I'm a happy person and I'm an optimist, but I'm not like this level of happy, and I don't understand why people aren't coming on and saying, God, I hate my kids today. Like, does anybody want 3 boys? I'm selling. Marriage is brutal. I don't like you today. And there was no place for people to go and just say, today sucks, or today was great. I'm struggling. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I don't know why they call it that. I'm having a midlife awakening.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I really wish I woke up sooner. I really do. I've learned a lot of things in the past, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years. I think the end of 40s, 50s is such a pivotal time, and probably and I don't mean this in the way it's going to sound, but for women, I think it's extraordinary because your kids start to get to that age where you get a little personal freedom back.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to start going, well, shit, what am I going to do with this? Like, what am I going to be now that I'm grown up? I didn't realize, like, what happened. I grew up. How the hell did that happen?
So you feel like you hit that, and were you prepared to hit that?
No. I wasn't prepared for a lot of things. I wasn't prepared for pivotal changes in my life. And I think we prep each other for like the marriage. Okay. Like, you're going to get married someday. And then you're going to have that pivotal moment where you have those kids and you kind of get prepared for that. But then it was like, you get to that funny phase where you're like, wow, I've kind of been doing this for a while and taking care of the kids. And I, as a stay-at-home, and then went back and got a master's and kind of recreated my career really late in life in my mid-40s, I was starting all over again. And I was like, whoa, like, oh, this is something completely new. And I'm not really sure. People say, you hit your 50s, you changed. I don't think I changed. I think I finally came back to the person I always was, and I left behind because I put everybody's wants and needs and wishes ahead of my own. And I think it's really easy to do that when you have a family. I think you get to the point where you feel like your life is meant to be sacrificed because you had these beautiful kids, and no one teaches you, not that you could have it all, but there's balance. You can have some. And as the kids get older, you get a little bit more. And that's okay. And people don't talk about it. They don't want to admit it. They don't want it. They don't want to say, like, this sucks. I want to go away and I don't want my family with me, and people get surprised when I go away and I'm not taking my kids. They're like, you're not going away with your family? I'm like, no. I'm going away with my girlfriends because we're going to have a really good time and explore in a way that I could never do with my kids. And it's not that I don't love them. I just wanted my own wings back a little bit. And it really for a long time made me feel like I was a bad person and a bad mom to want to have a life of my own outside of them.
And I think that's really natural. I think that's really natural because you do the parenting thing first. It's you're in, you are just in, you don't expect that. You think you're going to do it better than everybody else. And you hear the stories, but until you're in, you don't know what that is.
No.
And then you have that tiny little portion of time, that 6-year-old to 11-year-old, where you're like, you're it.
Yeah.
And you can do no wrong with your kids and everything's great. And then you hit the teenagers and the whole thing goes, this is the reset plus.
This is the reality check.
Reality check. And you're like, hold it, I thought the hard part was over. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah.
And then there's the after.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what that after is, because by that point you're 18 years, 19 years in, and you've developed those habits. And I think the thing that impresses me about you so much and the time that we've spent together is that you're so unapologetic. You're really unapologetic about what that is and what you're doing, to the point where you're encouraging other people to stop. And I think that is so important, is that stopping and that reevaluation, because all that stuff that we're seeing online, all that perfection is people trying to hold a mirror up to themselves and tell themselves it's okay.
It's okay.
Tell themselves, like, look at my house and look at this vacation. Everybody's dressed well, and we went to Cancun and we went to this, and this is amazing.
Yeah.
When I think everyone's reality and again, like the stuff that you preach all the time is everybody's reality is a mixed bag.
It is.
And if you're, it's been my experience that the more perfect the house and the more perfect the life, the worse the reality is underneath it.
Yeah.
Because we're all trying to hold on to this thing.
You know what? This pandemic will wash away stuff in ways this is a pivotal moment for the world. Like, the world just literally got its ass handed to it and said, you know what? You're not so big after all. And you're not so special. And it, like, something microscopic just squashed us in the blink of an eye. And it's going to reset a lot of people. It's going to reset priorities. It's going to reset families. It's going to destroy families because they're going to get a lot of family time. And let me tell you who's making money: liquor stores and divorce attorneys, really soon. Really soon.
That's true.
It is, because it's going to shine a light on everything we've spent all our time putting our makeup on, like putting our faces on. Every day we get up and we put our social media face on and we put our literal face on. And, you know, here we are 30 plus days into quarantine and the grays are coming in and I haven't got waxed in a month and a half. And I literally am falling apart. I am 50 years old. I have more things broken and falling apart, but my head says I'm 30. And it's this dynamic between, I feel like in my head I'm 30 years old, and then I look in the mirror and I go, what the hell happened? Like, holy shit, where did my body go? Like, everything changes. And listen, there are those incredible women who I am immensely jealous of, who become 50 years old and still look amazing and took care of their body. I didn't. I did not. I took care of my kids and I made excuses. I screwed up a lot this year and I am paying for it in spades. I managed my weight for lots of years and blew it up this year. Epically.
Well, you also had this thing called shoulder surgery. So I
did. I had a major surgery on my shoulder, and I still haven't even gone back to work yet.
Right. So this really isn't day 30, whatever, of quarantine for you. You're on day like 90.
Yeah. January, I was in quarantine. I haven't been out of the house except for physical therapy since January. So no, I don't love my kids anymore right now. I don't love anybody anymore. I actually am so excited to go back to work, to breathe again, because sitting on a couch binge watch, there's just so much you can binge watch and not want to blow your brains out by the end of the day. Like
I think it's interesting. You said binge watching, and there's a thing that kind of struck me the other day is, until this virus, I really feel like we were binge watching life.
Without a doubt.
And just consuming. And it, like, Netflix has always been, slight tangent, it's always confused me why they'll drop an entire season in one day, and then people will sit there and watch in 3 days what took 3 years to create, and they're like, oh, I got done with Stranger Things in this weekend. Like, what happened to the pace of life?
Nothing. Like,
and I think what you're doing just ties so right into this, which is why I wanted to have you on during this whole thing. Is because you've managed to stop and say, hold it, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to have every feeling you're having and not feel guilty about it. Because it seems like you already pre-did all the guilt. You went through that. And
absolutely.
you came out on the other side.
And I still have it. I mean, listen, there's days where, I spend pretty much all day today on the computer doing stuff for my Facebook page, writing, made a couple phone calls for work to, and literally, other than my feeding my kid, I probably didn't speak to him for more than 5 minutes today. And tonight I'll go to bed and be like, shit, because what this has brought us to realize is we're Generation X. Are we Gen Xers? We're Gen Xers, okay?
I have no idea. I think we are Gen Xers.
We're like the forgotten generation. There's the baby boomers, there's the millennials. We don't exist. Like, you don't hear people talking about us. We grew up in an age where we worked our asses off for everything. Nothing came instantly to us. If you wanted to talk to your friend, you either got on the phone and you dialed, you hung up, you dialed again, you hung up, you dialed again, or you got on your bike and you went to their house, or you got in your car and you drove there, because there was no other way to get in touch with somebody. There was no instant gratification for us. I mean, when your parents said you can have it for Christmas, they meant it.
Right.
Like, you weren't getting it till Christmas. Things took time. There was no Amazon. There was no, I need something. Like, I remember, and I'm going to date myself because I call it the Mac machine and everyone else calls it an ATM. But by the way, it was called a Mac machine when it started. You'd go to the Mac machine and be like, whoa, money came out. So usually you'd have to cash a check. Like, I'd have to cash a check. Like,
oh my Lord.
Like, oh my God, the money's there and I got it right now. That was like our first right now moment. We got a Mac card and we're like, holy damn, I got money and I can go out with my friends. And
I didn't have to wait till 9 o'clock till the bank opened.
I didn't have to wait till the bank opened and I got my cash. I grew up in that generation, and even myself, like, the new iPhone comes out and I'm like, and then it's got better video. I got to get that new iPhone. There's nothing wrong with this damn phone. Not a bloody thing. There's nothing going to be wrong with this phone for probably another 3 years.
Right.
But we dispose of everything. And until this happened, I never realized how much shit I disposed of until I couldn't go to the store and pick up toilet paper. And I'm like, damn, when you're flipping that roll, like you're cranking on a machine and it's spinning in the what do they call it, Atlantic City.
Right.
You're seeing that little machine going and you're flipping that toilet paper that way, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, how many rolls do we have left?
I lost.
I better stop. We have burned through so much of our life. And we taught our kids the same thing. And because of that, they have no damn resilience either.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to wait. They don't know delayed gratification. They want everything immediately now. And they're such a generation of thinkers and feelers because they can't fathom that, oh, what do you mean? You know, like I can't have this right now, or why doesn't my life look like everybody else's? Because I see it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done such a disservice that way. And not into our environment, to the planet, to everything that we use and abuse. And man, it's biting our ass. It really is, and we deserve it. So we deserve this.
So what do you think is next?
Next, we have a lot of soul searching to do. And this is what I saw. I saw on Facebook a video of a picture of Manila, where there was a cross, I think, up somewhere in Manila. And it was a picture like, oh, how amazing that was. And I was like, what's so amazing? It's, you know, it's a nice, beautiful area in the cross. It was because it was like the first time in years they were able to see it from the pollution.
Right. Yeah, I saw.
Same thing in India. First time that they could see the mountains in 30 plus years. What is wrong with us? Like, what is wrong with us that you can even put that online and think that's normal? I think people need to stop and really rethink what we forgot how to live.
Mm-hmm.
We're robots. We're just grinding every day, and we keep waiting for that day. You know, I kept waiting. And I'm going to wait till my kids are in school to do things. I'm going to wait till they're out of diapers to do things. I'm going to wait till they're in college or out of high school, and everything's waiting. And now all of a sudden it's like, you know, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Because I keep waiting like as if I'm living for 90 and that's a given. And that's not so. Mm-hmm. And you know, when I lost my friend last year, 54 years old, to a massive sudden heart attack, it was like, no, it's not so. It's not so. And things like this, they change you. And if they don't change you, then you just live in that little robot little area, and you're never going to grow. You're never going to grow. And I think that's what the 50s is. It's about looking and taking stock. I mean, when we were young in 20s, you were fearless, weren't you? Mm-hmm. I mean, really, in your 20s, what wouldn't you have tried that wasn't stupid?
Oh. I look back at the stuff I did in my 20s. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, stupid. You tried things. Do you know how many people I hear at 50 years old who won't even attempt to start a business because they're 50?
Right.
They won't even try. I went back to school for my master's in my mid-40s, and people are like, you're going to go back to school? I'm like, why not? Mm-hmm. And my brother said something to me when I thought about not doing it. And he said, Lisa, the 2.5, 3 years it's going to take for you to get your master's done, the time's going to go by anyway. At least at the end of it, you will have said you accomplished something. Mm-hmm. How many people get to say at the end of the day, they accomplished something? Because we're on autopilot. We don't accomplish things anymore.
Well, you're so right, and the big shift, or one of the big things that I think is going to happen, mm-hmm. is when we are given the all clear, and at some point we're going to say, okay, everybody go back to work, and you're going to have these people who have been cooped up, working from home for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get back in their cars and going to sit in an hour and a half of traffic to go to the city, whatever mm-hmm. city it is. Mm-hmm. They're going to pay $300 a month to park. Mm-hmm. They're going to get in the elevator. They're going to go up to the 53rd floor and be around hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that day, they're going to get back in their car. They're going to spend another hour and a half going home. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the day where things really change.
Yeah.
Because I really feel that they're going to sit there and say, I just wasted 3 hours of my life mm-hmm. sitting in traffic, where before it was just that's just what you did.
You just did it
You just did it.
all
And
the time.
I sold a business down in Cambridge last year, and it was probably 2 months before I went back into Boston. And then when I hit that traffic for the first time, and that wasn't me being cooped up in my house, that was just
Yeah.
me living my life. Everything was
Yeah.
fine. When I hit that traffic for the first time, like, whoa, oh my, and looking around and everybody's just blinders.
That's it.
And I think that first week is going to be really rough on people. And I feel like there's going to be a surge in people starting their own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the dynamic inside the cities is going to change. I feel like companies are going to start doing satellite offices.
Yeah.
Where the commutes are shorter. Work at home is a lot easier to accomplish. And we're in for a major shift.
I hope so. I mean, I hope that comes. I mean, even for me, look, by trade, I'm a speech pathologist and I work in a hospital outpatient. And all of my therapy is done individual, one-on-one. And I sit there some days and I think, listen, teletherapy is not for everybody and it's not designed for everybody and it doesn't work for everybody. But I'm like, how many people are we not serving because we're not using technology for what technology should be used for, which isn't spending 16 hours surfing the web looking at, a feed. It's a way to bring us closer and bring people to do things so that they can go to their life and live it and dream it and do it. And I think it'll shine a lot of light on a lot of relationships, friendships, because during a pandemic, I think you see, we're going to see things we've never dealt with this. And you're going to see who rises and falls.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are really losing their shit right now. And it's going to exacerbate a lot of relationships, for the good and the bad. Same thing with children. And, I would pray that we grow from it. And I think there are people who will. I don't know if the most will, because I think by nature we're just lazy people, and I own it. I mean, I wouldn't have gained the weight I did this year if I wasn't lazy. I don't get up off my ass. I don't know. I'd like to see the change, but I know people are intrinsically we're lazy.
We are. We're on the precipice of a lot of things right now. We really are. And that's honestly why I wanted to do this little show thing.
Yeah.
Because it's fascinating to me how many different people that I have come into contact from all over the world who have all different perspectives on not only what we're going through now, but what is coming up in the future.
Yeah. How we blow money.
Huh?
How much we blow money.
Oh, exactly. It's amazing. It's amazing.
There's something to be said for the minimalistic thing. There really is. Our acquisition of shit is stupid.
And I feel like
unnecessary.
That all changes. Because we've just been shown how quickly things can change in a very, very significant way.
Yeah.
And there wasn't an attack. There wasn't anything, but the entire world got locked down.
It did.
And when you really think about this, the thing that happened a couple of weeks ago in India, they locked down 1.6 billion people in 4 hours.
Yeah.
That is mind-boggling to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people like yourself who have, before this whole thing started, had that realization, had that vision, had that like, hey, this needs to be something different.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I really, those are the kind of people, you're the kind of people that are going to succeed going forward. Because I feel like people are going to be looking for different solutions than they will looked for before.
Yeah.
I think we're entering into an age of authenticity.
Yeah.
Of honesty, of more genuine relationships, and just the phrase that's been running around in my head is the truth laid bare. And it's It really has been. And like you were talking about with relationships,
Yeah,
there's a lot of truth that comes out of people under pressure.
they do. And you know what I always think about too is I think now more than ever, we are going to appreciate the hidden people in our lives. And I like to call them hidden because they're the people that we know are there and we really don't pay attention to because we don't want to be bothered. Every parent right now is going to be kissing the foot of every teacher on this planet. And so they should. Because let's be honest, my personal thing is, I think teachers should make more than double what they make. We should be throwing money at them. First off, if you did, it would raise the bar along all borders because let's be for real, the United States was a powerhouse. Right now, I think we're way behind in education. I don't think we get the job done, and I think it's because we've literally choked teachers to death and don't give them room to teach. You know, the people who today, I was so excited this week because it was Wednesday, the garbage men showed up. And I was like, gee, I wonder if they're still going to pick up garbage. Are they going to do recycling? You know, do you ever, like I literally had my husband like go out and I can't bring them lunch. I don't want to make them food. You don't know people. Like, I'm like, give these guys money for lunch because they're still working. So it's, you know, that grocery store worker who you've just been like, oh, they're so slow. Yeah, you're loving him right now, aren't you? I hope we have an appreciation for the people who really serve us, not the people who look over us, but the people who serve us. Because I don't think they get their just due. Because right now I'm sitting in my house bitching about being with my kids. I have a roof over my head. I know my mortgage is paid next month. My car is fine. I have money in my savings to pay the next month or two we have to get through. And I would be willing to bet there would be 1 million people who would give their right arm for that.
Oh yeah.
Literally, because they just don't care.
An interesting observation that I had, I don't think the celebrity culture is going to survive this.
Oh God, I hope not.
And just one, like I saw this thing online. There was a round table with Will Smith, and two
the red table?
Yeah, the red table.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if you caught all the comments under that. Okay, so I'm a Will Smith fan. I mean, his backstory is amazing.
Yes.
He worked for everything he got. The stories about his dad are just incredible. And he puts out quality stuff no matter what. That guy brings it every single time.
Every time.
Fantastic. He gets together with 2 other actors. They're going to do this red table thing. And the vitriol underneath, and there was probably like 2,000 comments when I like, geez, I wonder what these comments are like, because I was curious about that. And a lot of them were just like, shut up. You don't know what we're going through. You don't live in reality. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Just go entertain us. It was thing after thing after thing after thing. And I actually think it's kind of about time. I mean, not that they're not entitled to their opinion, obviously, and they've got some clout, but I feel like the level of adulation that they receive far exceeds what they deserve.
Yeah.
They're great at acting. They're great at creating emotion in us and whatnot, and they create this entertainment. But are they solving the world's problems? No. Are they teaching our kids? No.
Yeah.
Are they picking up our trash? No.
No.
And I feel like this is a great leveling. Now, on the flip side, there's a lot of like CEOs and billionaires, and let's secure them. I feel like that's misguided too.
Yeah.
Because we're all equal.
Yeah.
With with disparate incomes, obviously, in different lives, but as human beings, we're all serving a purpose.
Yeah.
As long as that purpose is going toward the good, then everybody's fine in my book.
I agree. And I think everybody's purpose is different. And I think, and I read that somewhere where someone said, you're not supposed to follow your passion. You're supposed to follow your purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're following your passion, like seriously, how many people get to go to work every day and be like, I am so passionate about my job? Like, no, like it's just the means to an end to pay the bills. But you have to find your purpose. And I think I don't think people have a midlife crisis. I think they finally have a midlife, like they take stock. Like I've now lived enough years that I've got enough under my belt to say, damn, I sucked at this. Like, could have done that better. Wow, I screwed my kids up really good. But it's really hard to see in your 20s, 30s, and 40s because you're in it and you're mucking through it and you're screwing it up. And now that you're in your 50s plus, you can kind of look back and be like, oof, that didn't go as planned. It didn't go as planned. I didn't plan on being 52 years old. I thought at 52 years old, my kids would be getting older. I'd still be a stay-at-home mom, and I'd be taking day trips with my mother-in-law maybe, or going away for long weekends. And that, like, my world was about this big. It was about this big. And somewhere in my late 40s and 50s, I took a really big trip for my 50th birthday to Ireland. By the way, love the place, love it. And saw the world. See, the problem with us as Americans, we're very egocentric as Americans. Like our friends in Ireland, they watch world news. Most people outside of the United States watch world news. We watch the local news in New York, and that's about it. I don't even know what the hell's happening in California. When you leave, when you travel, when you leave and go to other places and see other cultures, you start to realize how small and silly you are. And you start to see different perspectives. And you realize you've been in a box. And the problem is, in the box is safe, it's secure, it's predictable, and it's Groundhog Day. The problem is that's it. Like it's really hard to grow outside of the box. You have to kind of go out and live and go, oh shit, like there's a world out there, and it's extraordinary. And what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? We don't have a midlife crisis. We realize that we're wasting time.
So where are you going with the page? And I know you're working on a book.
I am. I'm working on a book. It's a great book about words. So I'm working on that, and I'd like to see that get finished. The page really is giving me material for the book as well. And I'd like to see it kind of be a witty everyday, like, I put up the other day, is brushing your teeth considered exercise? Because that was my standard for the day. Like if I blush really hard, I'm just asking for a friend. Is that considered exercise today? And that's what I'm talking about, is the things in life where we go, I suck at stuff. I do. I don't have this life thing figured out. I blow at it. And every day I get up and I go, well, maybe today I'm going to do it a little bit better. Maybe today. And that's what I want the book to be about, is that I every day screw things up royally. I can promise you I get it wrong more often than right. But I get up and I try again. And my phone keeps, this is what I mean. See, like we don't even know to turn our phones off. It's stupid. And you've built businesses, you know how easy it is to get kind of stuck in the minutia.
Oh, of course.
When you went to Italy, you see things like, it's mind numbing.
Yeah. And the travel, you're right. The travel does open your mind, and it makes you realize that there's multiple versions of life out there. And in some ways we've got it made. In some ways you go like, what the hell are we doing? Yeah. And now we're all doing the same thing.
We're all, you know what? This literally made us all human beings. Got through all of us really quick, didn't it? We're not so different after all. We're really not. I mean, maybe we worship God different, Maybe we don't even believe in God. Maybe we look different. It all jumped in our lungs the same way, though, didn't it? We're not so different. We're not so different.
No.
And if we could appreciate those things, you know, I think maybe this will bring the world closer. Maybe, I don't know, I have like that Star Trek view of things. I was never a Star Wars person. I always like Star Trek, like where we become like the Earth and we have like, you know, we now start to look beyond our little world and we all come together as a planet. Like that in my dream would be the ultimate. Maybe my kids will see it.
Yeah, the future generations, the young people now are in for a ride. They're in for a ride, and I hope they're up for the task. I think they are. I mean, I think they're shortchanged, honestly, because we apply our standards to them. Our standards of work, they just work differently.
Yeah.
And I see how my kids can process things and manipulate things, and how things that would rock my world and no big deal to them, and the acceptance and the loving nature of them, they're a lot less hard.
They are, and they work smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
they're a little bit more efficient. They're about getting to the bottom line a little quicker than we are.
Yeah,
we like to tool with things and kind of, you know, they're just like, why are you doing it this way? Bink, 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 and you know.
And then how old do you feel? You're like, what did you do?
No, you don't feel old until you do math when you're kids. Math is the equalizer that shows you just how stupid you are. Because I figured when they came up with that whole situation with the boxes for division, to this day, I still don't know how to do it. I'm like, I don't understand.
Oh yeah, I don't know. No.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
I'm carrying every one till the end of time.
There's no way I'm doing these boxes. I'm like, what? He's like, Ma, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just do this and you carry it down. Yeah, they show us very quickly our limitations, and they still rise and they do better than us, even though we royally screw them up. I'm still royally screwed. I screw myself up. So how am I not going to screw my kids up? I'm not where I should be.
None of us are. And I love, and I think that's, if I want someone to get why I brought you on, is I think it's a very, very important message right now.
Yeah.
And that this time calls for honesty, not only externally but internally. And you've been able to do both, make it funny, and really wake up people in a way that I've never seen people get woken up. And that's what I think is your real special gift, is that you definitely bring that not only to your page but to your life and to your friendships. And like, what you see is what you get with you, but in the best way.
Aww.
And I feel like going out there, everyone needs a little bit of Lisa in them right now.
Well, you know, I've always just been a big cheerleader. It's just the jerseys, we get a bad rap. We do. We get a bad, one TV show does not make us stay. And we do not say Jersey that way. It's not Jersey. People from New York call us that, not New Jerseyans.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We don't have the Southie accent, but we do have a harsh one. And it's you just have to keep it real. We're fast here. We do everything fast. We drive fast. We talk fast. We move fast. And we're not nearly as, I don't know, like rude or obnoxious as people think we are.
I really have never encountered that down there.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, people really think that we're like Newark Airport. It's just not what we are, So
if somebody wants to find the page.
Yeah, they have to go on Facebook to The Stuff We Never Say.
I'll put a link below.
You can put a link below. The website is not quite up yet, but we're working on it. And we'll link it all and hopefully get it across all social media. And it's just a way to come in and just see a funny quip of the day or a word of the day saying, you know what? I don't have it right. Look at what I noticed today, you know, and I'm just trying to do a little bit better each day. And just, I just like to do it with humor. Sometimes it's not with humor. Sometimes I cry. All the emotions that
you're in for a ride one way or the other.
You're in for a ride. It is. It's a roller coaster ride, no doubt.
Darling, thank you so much.
Listen, it's a pleasure.
So much fun.
Any day.
And we will talk soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Distantly Social. Did it?